Alright, AoC meeting number 29. Before we crack this one open, I want to let you guys know why these meetings haven't really been bi-weekly lately. Basically, with the longer update cycle, some of the reps are finding it difficult to get topics every 2 weeks. So EM has been slowing down the frequency of the meetings to give them more time to do that. Anyway, my topics are up first. I had community concerns on content, adding a title reward for hitting level 999, double checking older feedback on Drogos, Tiberius, Grover, and bots buying items. So a lot of you guys feel like the game has been getting stale, skins aren't really doing it for you. You want things that spice up gameplay like game modes and maps. The devs said they've been talking about this a lot internally. They have started to investigate doing a limited time event system, but they can't give any promises on when or if this will happen. They couldn't give any more details than that, but they did release a roadmap for 2020 and some of 2021, and it does have more info, so I do recommend giving it a look. It's linked below. There aren't many players at the max level of 999, but the ones that are there deserve something to show off their commitment. It would probably have to be something cool like One Above All, or something funny like Plays Way Too Much. Those are the ones I recommended, but something that clearly stands out from the others will also do perfectly fine. The devs said they can look into doing this. There's a bit of coding work that goes into it, but they can add it to the list of things to do if it's easy work. The devs said they were interested in buffing Drogos' Salvo in the past, but they haven't talked about buffing him internally lately. Despite having a lot of counters, he's winning at several different levels of play. He's currently a top 5 character in high elos and in low elos, I believe they said. Now this is only a side reason for not buffing him. The main reason is because they rather use the time on characters who need it more, characters who aren't as well off. For example, the Torvald rework idea, and reducing Amani's swap stance speed to make her more fluid and have less downtime. Both of these would require heavy investment, and time is better spent on them than buffing Salvo, since Salvo would likely take heavy investment too. For Tiberius, I requested making him be able to throw his sword while reloading to make him less clunky, and to also give his leap more air control to help his leap talent. The devs said the sword throw thing is in the same boat as Drogos because it would take animation work, but the air control thing is a lot less time consuming to do and is something they've had on their mind as well. For Grover, I recommended allowing his axes to scale on barriers and deployables. They scale on personal barriers but not regular ones. The devs said they do want to do that if it's something simple like editing a line or two of code, because again, heavy investment is better spent on other characters. But yeah, if that's simple to do, they will definitely go ahead and do it. For bots buying items, there was previous talk of making it so bots can't buy items, so your credits are there when you reconnect, or making it so items and credits that bots buy are refunded when you reconnect. The devs said there are complications with both of these. They don't currently have the tech for refunding items, so they would have to build that, and for bots not buying items at all, they don't want bots to be less effective if the player never comes back. That's it for my topics, now we're on to Libras. Libra had freezes on PS4 and delayed party invites on PS4. Apparently when queuing with multiple people on different platforms, the game will freeze randomly. Sometimes they pass, while sometimes they lead to crashes. The devs will go ahead and talk to their QA team to see if they can get this figured out. As for delayed party invites, apparently there's a big delay when inviting friends through PSN. Sometimes it even gives an error that says could not connect to party. The devs will also talk to their QA team about this. They recommended that players all leave the party and restart their clients when this happens. It's a temporary fix until they can get a real one in. That's it for Libra, now on to Yago's topics. He had balance for Koga, Makoa, Torvald, Fernando, Vivian, and Talus. He's been seeing a lot of Koga on console, and he feels like Koga could use some nerfs like decreased claw damage, increased claw stamina consumption, and reducing his extra base ammo card from 5 to 3. He personally feels that Koga's biggest pain point is his claws. The devs understand that if he is a problem, it's probably only on console. They said his win rates are high on console, but they aren't quite as high as some of the other hit scans. They think they are going to go ahead and take a look at him. Personally, I don't think Koga can take another hit on PC. Anything sizable would probably mean his end, so I hope they're super careful about this one. For Torvald, Makoa, and Fernando, he felt that their damage needs a buff so they can secure more kills. The devs do want tanks to feel fun and good to play, but they don't think the main focus of them is to get those killing blows. They also want to be very careful with Makoa specifically. He was at the very top of the meta for several years, and they don't want him to be at the top of the meta again anytime soon. For Vivian and Talus, Yago recommended either nerfing their DPS or further nerfing their lifesteal. The devs said that hit scans are topics of conversation that they've been having. For Vivian specifically, players can expect further nerfs to her in the next update. That's it for Yago. Now let's go on to Gabinet's topics. He had an undo item option, crystal rewards for Grandmasters every split, and a reworking veteran. When it comes to undoing or returning items, the devs said they are actively testing an undo feature. The one they have planned is limited to the instance of the store you have open, so you can undo anything you do while it's open. This is still very experimental though. For crystal rewards, the devs said they were removed for some tech reason. It was 2 years ago, so they don't remember the specific reason. They need to go and talk with the rest of the team to figure out what it was. They said they can investigate re-adding this, but there is a lot that's different about the tech behind the leaderboards, so they make no promises on if it'll come back or not. As far as any item reworks, the devs are taking a look at messing with a few items, but can't give further details on it at this time. That's it for Gabinet's topics, now on to Couch's. He had Pip's current place in the meta as a support. He feels that heal Pip could use some love. He said in order to make Healing Potion viable, you have to invest a lot of loadout points, and he feels that messing with these cards in Pip's base kit could help him out so he doesn't have to spend so many points on one ability. The devs do agree. They think Pip needs several minor adjustments to be back in the meta. They don't know specifically what they're going to do to him at the moment, but they do want to buff him for the next update. That's it for Couch. Now on to Glenzier's topic. He had bringing back voice lines into the VGS. So the devs see this feedback a lot with several different voice lines, but the reason they removed voice lines was to make the system easier to use on Gamepad, since Gamepad has way less key bindings than PC. They do think they can make it so capture the objective becomes push the payload when you get the payload, but nothing really outside of that. That's it for Glenn's topic, now on to Z1's. He had balance for Vivian, Victor, Makoa, Corvus, Lex, Grok, and Furia, and allowing you to buy items at any time in every mode. Okay, so he had a lot of characters, so I'm gonna go ahead and put his ideas on screen while I tell you guys what the devs think about them. For Vivian, as you guys know, they did say they are going to be nerfing her in the next update, but they weren't specific on how. For Victor, they think he is a core gameplay experience. Many players from different FPS games can feel at home while playing him, so they definitely want him to feel good to play, but they personally don't like how he feels to play against right now. They want to look into messing with him sooner rather than later. For Makoa, they think buffing his spin damage is a great idea that'll help him without overbuffing him. For Corvus, they are happy to look at Grand Design. They need to test out some numbers on it before saying exactly what they'll be doing with it. Also, you will be able to see when you're marked by Corvus in the next update. For Lex, the devs do think they can play around in playtests to see how it feels for Lex's marked target to know they're marked. However, they're currently working on a soft rework for the ability, so that takes priority right now. Some added info is that Lex won't be able to mark the same target in a row, and he will be able to slide midair. For Grok, they do think this idea is worth taking a look at to bring it more in line with cards like it. For Furia, they think this is a bug and will be talking to their QA team about it. And that's it, that's everything. Like always, feel free to leave any feedback you have in the comments below. And that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank y'all for watching, I very much appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.